everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Amanda. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm feeling a little under the weather today, so I apologize if my voice sounds raspy or stuffy or whatever. I do think I'm starting to battle a sinus infection, so I apologize for that. But we are going to be working with a 15-ounce barrel tumbler from MakerFlo Crafts, and I will have a link to their website in the description box below. It is an affiliate link, so if you purchase anything through that link, I do earn a small commission, but I get most of my tumblers from MakerFlo Crafts, and I love them. So with that being said, I went ahead and spray painted the tumbler off camera, this metallic gold. In hindsight, I didn't have to spray paint the entire tumbler because I wound up covering most of that up with other paint colors. But when I first started this Easter egg tumbler, I wasn't sure what parts I wanted to be gold and what parts I wanted to be colored. So nonetheless, we have spray painted the tumbler metallic gold, and we're going to go in and cover the center portion with gold glitter. And for the glitter application, I just used glitter glue. And as you can see, some of the glue didn't stick to the tumbler in all the spots. So I had to go back a couple of times and add some more glue and add some more glitter. This glitter is from the Glitter Grind, and I will have that linked for you in the description box below. I will say my two favorite glitters to use are the Glitter Grind glitters and MakerFlo Crafts glitters. I just love them. I love the sparkle. I love the shine. They work well under the epoxy. So anyway, and then we're going to go in and paint the bottom half and the top half in this pink and yellow color in these acrylic paints. Now, I wanted to spray paint the tumbler, but it was raining outside this day, and so I didn't want to wait, so I just went ahead and went in with acrylic paints, but you can use any paint that you want. You can spray paint it if you want, and you can use any color. And after I had my first layer of paint, I did go in with a mixture of paint and glitter glue and went around the tumbler one more time and applied that coat because we're going to go straight in with our glitter. And for the bottom part, we are using As If from Peachy Olive Glitters. And again, I will have that linked for you as well. And we're just going to cover the bottom portion, and then we're going to move on to the top, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to paint it yellow, and then we're going to go in with a mixture of paint and glitter glue, and then go straight in with our glitter. Now for the yellow glitter, it was a super fine cut of glitter, and so you could see some of the brush strokes. So I went back and added another glitter layer on top, but I don't show that on camera. After I did that, after I had my second coat of yellow glitter, then I went ahead and added my first coat of epoxy. once my first layer of epoxy had cured, then I did cut out some stencils for the center portion of the tumbler. I wanted like a zigzag um, stripe around the middle. And then I also had this animal print stencil. I guess it's supposed to be leopard spots, but I don't know. Once I got it on the tumbler, it didn't really look like leopard spots. It just looked like a bunch of random, like, kidney shapes. um, but whatever. So I didn't want to do like polka dots. I wanted to kind of do like a play on polka dots. So that's why I went with the leopard print um, pattern. And you can do any pattern that you want. You can do stripes, dots, whatever. Um, and then you're just going to put your stencil on, and then I'm going to cover the bottom because we're not going to do anything on the bottom just yet. And I'm going to cover the bottom, and then I'm going to take it outside and spray paint this beautiful blue. And then we will remove our stencils, and then you're ready for your next step. Okay, so we have the stencils removed. It's been painted. Look how pretty that is. I love the blue with the yellow glitter and then the pink and the gold in the center. I just think it's so pretty. And oftentimes I have a hard time, like once it's at this stage and it looks pretty, I have a hard time continuing to work with it and do things to it. But I knew I couldn't just leave it like this. That was too plain, and we're going to have to add some striping. And so I just cut those same animal print shapes. I added an offset or an outline to them and cut them out of this like really pretty pink vinyl. And we're going to use the outline portion to outline some of our spots. We're going to leave some as is, and we're also going to add some glitter glue and a little bit of glitter to the outside of some of them. And it's not going to be perfect around them with the glitter, but that's okay. It's supposed to be a little bit abstract. You know, this is a play on an Easter egg. It's not going to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. So we're also going to add some striping in that same pretty pink vinyl to the zigzag in the center. And then I wanted to add a vinyl stripe in this like polka dot semi-transparent vinyl. Um, and I initially added at the top of the pink portion, and then about halfway down the center of the pink portion. I later went back and removed the second stripe because this vinyl was not super pliable and it was sticking up. And even when I used my heat gun method to get it to lay down and relax and adhere to the tumbler, there were still gaps, and I was afraid the epoxy would seep underneath it and pull it up even more and cause bubbles and issues. So I removed it and I wound up adding a stripe at the very bottom of the tumbler. I don't like that as much, but again, because of the vinyl that I was using, it just wasn't super bendy. It was like really stiff vinyl. Um, so, I mean, I don't know. It was almost like plastic. But anyway, but I liked the polka dot look to it. So that's why I wanted to use that vinyl. But these are just the finishing touches. You can, if you're making something like this, you can, of course, put your own spin on it and do whatever kind of finishing touches that you would like. So once all of the vinyl work is done, I did go ahead and seal the vinyl with Rustoleum's 2 times clear matte. And then I went in with another coat of epoxy. And after that coat of epoxy, I did go ahead and sand down the rim of my tumbler. And I'll show a close-up of that here in just a moment. And then I had been working on something else, and I had some leftover yellow glitter epoxy mixture, and I didn't want to waste it. So I just added that to the bottom of the tumbler, and I cut this little silly bunny Easter is for Jesus vinyl lettering out and placed that on the tumbler. I did not film that portion because I don't know, it was kind of like I was working on some other vinyl stuff, and I just decided to go ahead and cut that out, and I don't know, I just didn't record it. But all I did was just made an offset, cut that out in this blue holographic type vinyl, and then cut the words out of this pink glitter vinyl and put that on top. I went ahead and sealed that with Rustoleum, and then went in with another coat of epoxy. And she is almost done. I'm going to add a chocolate drip with some sprinkles to the top of this tumbler. I've never done a drip before. I don't know. I just have never had like the right tumbler to do a drip on, I guess. So this will be my first time, and I will go through the steps that I did, and I think it turned out absolutely perfect. Okay, so you've just seen the small line of stainless steel that I sanded down on my tumbler, and I just kind of briefly showed the finished product of the tumbler, and now we're going to add our chocolate drip. So I mixed up my epoxy. I added this mica powder called coffee, and then I let that sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. I wanted to get it um, thick because when you're doing a drip, you don't want the drips to run really fast. You want them to run slow and naturally. So after it sat for about 15 minutes, I did notice some of the brown coloring kind of started to look more purple. So I added some black alcohol ink to the mixture, And then just let that sit for about 5 minutes. And then I added Counterculture DIY's Nice and Thick. I do know some people use cornstarch, and I've seen some people use like puff paint for this process. I really liked the Nice and Thick, and I just added like a little spoonful, and then I let that sit for about 15 minutes. What you're looking for when after you've let it sit and you come back to your cup, if you put some on your stir stick and then put it on the side of the cup and it drips down really fast, you need to either add some more Nice and Thick or let it sit a little longer, or both. And what I did was I added a little more Nice and Thick and let it sit for like another 15 minutes. And I believe in all, it was about an hour that my epoxy had to sit. And, so by the time I did my drips, I think it had been like an hour time lapse. So that's what I did, is just, you want to add some Nice and Thick, let it sit, check it, and, back and forth and back and forth. So, and then you just add, you put some on your stick and kind of roll it around. You don't want any like straggling strings or anything like that. And then you just add a line around the rim of the tumbler. And then I actually kind of hit my cup on the desk a little bit to sort of get them started. But I mean, you don't have to do that. I'm very impatient. So, and then I just added these little clay polymer sprinkles that are Easter themed. And then I put it on my turner and let it turn. Once that chocolate drip has cured, then you are ready for your final coat of epoxy. Be sure when adding this coat of epoxy that there is no pooling or bubbling up against the chocolate drip and the tumbler. You want to be sure to really smooth out those areas of transition between the raised chocolate drip and the tumbler. So just make sure there's no clumping of your epoxy in those areas, and that you do pop any micro bubbles that might occur. And you're finished with this tumbler. So I loved how this turned out. I think it is so cute, and I cannot wait to make some more of these. I hope this has inspired you to make your own Easter egg tumbler, and I hope you've learned something from this. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell for notifications of my channel. And if you have any questions, leave those for me. I'll be glad to answer them. And thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a blessed day and a happy Easter.